I replaced a camera setup worth more than $4,000 by just a $900 DJI Osmo Pocket. And if I'm being honest, that was the smartest decision I ever made. One thing that you're gonna realize is that nowadays you need to have the best of everything. You need to have the best gear, the best camera, the best lighting. And I was deep into this rabbit hole, buying more gear, and I was upgrading my gears, and I wasn't actually doing any content. I was just waiting for the perfect gear magic to happen and replace and be able to help me to create content. The difference between a DJI Osmo Pocket and this Fujifilm X-T4 with these expensive lenses that I'm using is almost zero, and people actually don't care about that. It's about friction, and that's the part that decides that if you're making content or you just own a nice gear. For a while, my main setup was just this Fujifilm X-T4, this monitor, and my light. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty satisfied with it. But the main thing is, whenever I would have to pick up and make my setup, I would need to pick my camera, make sure that it is charged, make sure the lenses are clean, make sure I connect the audio. And for me, this started to become a friction, because if I wanted to make content, if I had the original idea and I just wanted to film myself now, I would have to pick my tripod, I would have to pick my Fujifilm, and then I would have to make sure I have my SD card, otherwise it won't film. I would pick as well an audio, I connect my audio properly to my camera, and if you see all this friction, right, because I'm not a natural content creator, all this friction was making me doing less content, was making me be more like, you know, I can do another day, or I need to charge all my devices first. So owning a nice gear like a Fujifilm sometimes is a pain. I will definitely bring my DJI camera to any travel, any place that I go, but I won't bring my Fujifilm everywhere that I go, because one, it's heavy, easily weights with the lenses about 2 kilos per tire as well. You don't want to be carrying the camera body, 1 or 2 lenses, you know, and then every time you need to take it out, you take the picture, and then you need to keep holding. So that's a lot of friction, and that's something that doesn't make me bring my Fujifilm, bring my camera to places. Like, for example, if I'm traveling, I would choose between bringing my cameras or bringing more clothes or bringing something more important. So I start to understand one thing: having a camera like this and the lenses is actually not bad, it's great. It'll be always a better quality from what I get from my phone or the Osmo Pocket, but in terms of creating content, it's actually marginal gains. Because if we compare both cameras, the Fujifilm and the Osmo Pocket can film in 4K. Both can film landscape or portrait, both can film at nighttime. So the main question becomes, what's the barrier between the moment I want to film and the moment I actually recording? And with a Fujifilm, it's just too much work. Is something that it would easily, if I want to record something, take me 10 to 5 minutes, while with the DJI Osmo Pocket, with a flip, I'm already recording and making sure everything is fine. And this is usually where the hype and the reality is split apart, right? The Fujifilm is a way more respectable setup, and it will make you look way more professional as well. Most people don't fail content creation because their gear or camera setup wasn't good enough. They most of the times fail because the setup feels heavy, slow, boring, or just annoying enough that they don't film consistently. And that was exactly me. I would have to force myself every Saturday to go and film myself because I didn't want. And that's what changed for me, because with the Osmo Pocket, I just leave in my table, and whenever I feel like filming, with just a flip of my finger, I can already start recording and talking something, and later on just editing so I can see myself better. And all of these things, if you realize in the end of the day, if you're not a content creator, like if you don't do this full time and you have to, after you have filmed yourself, pack it up and put somewhere else because you don't have huge space in your house, it becomes inconvenient. It becomes something that you don't want to do because you're like, okay, I need to film about setting up everything, recording myself, talk to the camera, edit the video, and then also unpack everything so I can put somewhere where my lighting, my camera, my tripod's not everywhere across my room. I think a lot of the creator decisions and my decisions as well, they were made on, oh, is this setup great? Is this gear gonna give me the best quality, the best look? And as well, does it look nice? Does it fit with my branding or my style? Making my content creation process easier, smoother, better for me to not just capture my ideas, but as well to put them into social media, to create videos like this where I talk spontaneously as well, where I follow a script at the same time and just talking with my own thoughts. All of this comes with a cost. If you're making your process time-bound, annoying, boring, exhaustive, you're not gonna have that same motivation as you're just like, okay, I just need to flip and things will work and that's it. So here's my conclusion. If you have a dedicated space for your YouTube setup and you don't actually mind about setting up things, I would strongly recommend going with the Fuji XT4 or any mirrorless camera because they do bring the best quality, they have different lenses, you can make the background blur, and these are things that you cannot do with the Osmo Pocket due to its own limitations. The aperture is fixed and you can control some things using the Pro settings, but still they're very limited compared to what you can do by yourself in a mirrorless camera. If your problem about content creation or try to put your ideas, your thoughts on YouTube or on camera is about friction, is about you don't feel motivated or you don't feel you have the time, you have the energy, I would strongly recommend getting the Osmo Pocket 4, which is what I'm getting right now and probably what I'm gonna be using for my video creations as well, because I want to remove friction from my life. I just want to do videos, do them simple enough so I can also be more authentic, which is something that I feel whenever I need to set up the tripod, the camera, I become a little bit less because it's more of a process for me and my brain's already wired to, you need to speak more clearly or more properly, while if I use the DJI Osmo Pocket, I feel it will be just more natural because it doesn't feel much of a setup compared to my Fujifilm X-T4. And the one thing I would tell you from my personal experience spending thousands of dollars for things and others not so useful is that don't buy things by which one is better. Think about your process, think about your workflow, think about your space, and then you buy things that you want to improve that specific part of your life. And that will be usually the right gear or the right camera in this case. So my question to you right now is, what specific gear or setup is causing the most friction into your life? Could be your camera, your lighting, your audio, anything. Let me know in the comments.